The beginnings of the Art Academy of University of Applied Sciences are related to Kaunas Art School, the only art school in the country during the Intava period and one which worked from 1922 to 1940. Its founder, Justinas Vienožinskis, Lithuanian painter and art critic. In this school, people of merit thought and famous artists of the country studied and learned. The art school and temporary gallery of Mikalojus Konstantinas Čiurlionis was built on the previous grounds of 19th century Kaunas fortress, 9th mobile battery on Ąžuolų kalnas, Hill of the Oaks. The territory is lined by a fence of metal and concrete decorated with statues of owls. Since 1912, the Lithuanian flag has been flown here at the Kaunas fortress, and now the tradition has been restored. The highest Lithuanian flag in the country is being flown here to this day. Ina Budrytė, born 1957, coordinates ordinary life and fantastical motifs, plays with color and size relations, creating a sense of mystery for her art. Figures and things are spread out onto the surface like a rebus. When we are looking at Budrytė's paintings, a feeling of solving a mystery, which we have initially felt for long, arises. It seems as though we can read the artist's drawings like words, but coherent story cannot be shaped. We cannot find a code which would help decipher the images, pulling the consumer into a game, which makes them happy but also disturbed. Aistė Bugailiškytė, born 1981, both probes and foresees with her works of art. Aistė goes deep into life itself, picturing the interior scenes, relationships between people, small but significant melodramas between men and women, and vice versa. She tries to understand and catch the meaning of life, because the meaning of life is all about human relationships, the connection between an individual and the surroundings, personal relation with others and even with themselves. Sigita Maslauskaitė, born 1970. Whilst playing the saints, I don't avoid the density of dark colors. They help me to talk about those holy characters. On the other hand, it looks as though every artist desires to create that which is light and pretty. It is some type of goal, says the artist, the director of the Church Heritage Museum, Sigita Maslauskaitė, whose art is full of Baroque expressions and intensity. Even though the artist paints still lifes, not only pictures of saints, Christian plotlines make her exceptional and stand out in the group of Lithuanian painters. Gustas Jagminas, born 1979. Paintings are dominated by abstractions. He bases his art on nature, experience observations. He knows how to analyze nature, deconstruct, and construct it. He refines forms and approaches the meaning of painting, even if his painting names sound decadent and give off the tone of romanticism. The art itself is revealing in the modern context and doesn't lack irony. Under this acronym, 4 painters hide: Gustas Jagminas, Ina Budrytė, Sigita Maslauskaitė, and Aistė Bugailiškytė. The 4 artists form a group as though remembering the old and forgotten tradition for Lithuanian painters to unite. On the other hand, GISA does not aspire to join the ranks of committed groups. They haven't created a manifesto. Their name does not define one specific art style and keeps the wide horizons of creative freedom. But what does unify the members of the group? None of them chase trends. All of them have easily recognizable trends, and all of them commit to their artistic goals. They are connected by an eyes relation, matching biospheres. Next to ideological reasons, there are also pragmatic ones, but causing happiness in the context of individualistic, split art scenes and an overall lost community and society. To work in a group is more effective and fun. They share their workload, and the exhibitions become even bigger celebration and adventures. While traveling around Lithuania with their exhibition, the authors discovered new experiences. This group, touched by the flux-like ideology, instead of difficult conceptions, choose to dive into the constant creative being, put emphasis on the process, find meaning in everyday life. The idea of Gisa was born in the painting Quadriennale, when Gusta's, Ina's, and Aiste's paintings were exhibited next to each other. Unlike in contrast principle, the group decided to invite the painter and art critic Sigita Maslauskaitė. Gustas Jagminas draws a parallel with the group name Ketveriukis and compares Sigita Maslauskaitė with Algimantas Švėgžda. Both of them are the fourth members of the group in the aspect of painting style. Both are slightly different from the rest of their group members, but both are extremely important for the livelihood of their respective groups. According to Gustas Jagminas, Gisa members are united not by worldview, but by how they feel the world. Ina and Gustas also bond by the similarities in their artistic expressions. They welcome from resolution, touching on intense themes, paradoxes, and plays with meanings. The painter believes that Gisa members like the not-so-correct way of painting. In spite of having graduated from the Vilnius Academy of Arts, all members choose more expressive ways, supports the attribute amateur art style. Gustas Jagminas mostly looks back to the 20th century paintings. Sigita Maslauskaitė, however, carries on the tradition of Christian iconography, putting her own style into it. Gustas doesn't hide the fact that for this exhibition he chose his works of art that reflect the significant inspiration he has gotten from Ina Budrytė's art. At the exhibition, we will see the playful and poetic side of Gustas' art, not the minimalist, existentialist, and laconic pieces of art that are more prominent in his art today. Ina Budrytė notices that the group trio are the emotional painters that start from themselves and only then look for connection, whilst Sigita, contrastingly, first looks into the history and then lets it flow through her. For the exhibition, Ina chose works from different time frames, showing Ina's closeness to other artists. She is awed by the freedom and strong influence. Her painting stories are inspired by actualities, but her painting's hand can lead her to new contexts. And the center is led by expressive detail, which dictates and other pieces of compositions. Lines and colors also tell their own personal stories. Sigita Maslauskaitė has been interested in marginal, boundary phenomenons for a while. Like one of those phenomena, she sees this experiment of four painters, Gisa. Professional artists that re-announced competition for more prestige gallery spots in the capital share their exhibitions with people from the province. And there, they were met by a pleasant surprise. The painters were greeted with quality spaces for exhibition, professional light, sadness, and grandeur. Sigita describes herself as a prosist. Having paysages more fitting for the collection of the group, the painter put preference on figuratives on more comic style. Aistė Bogailiškytė, the initiator, godmother of the Gisa group. At the exhibition, she decided to show the newest of her artworks. In those, the painter examines antique interiors which surround her in her everyday life. Lately, Aistė feels their relentless enthusiasm to paint. Even the fear of the white canvas, which haunts so many painters, is gone. The artist always repaints her paintings seeking for perfection, precision. In her latest paintings, the interiors are bright, pastel, lively, just like people, recently gone from I S A's paintings repertoire, have come here to live, be, and communicate. The author pursues for detail and realism in her paintings, so that recognizably would connect with originality. Gisa is an interesting phenomenon in the modern skies of painting, where professionalism and marginality, differences and similarities, humor and seriousness blend into a continuous creation, into an informal, spontaneous, and atmospheric experiment.